In my backyard, there used to be this little berm with plants on it that rabbits just loved to come and eat. And I would just be sitting on my patio and just watching the whole thing unfold. And if I had enough energy, I'd go kind of chase them away. But of course, that would only work for that one rabbit for like a minute. So we decided that thing was just going to get cleared out. And we're trying to plant grass. I mean, there's a team of people. It's not I, the royal we. So I get in help with this. And so now I get that like June and July is probably not the best time to grow grass. But that's sort of when this whole thing is happening. So here we go. So I was watering for several days, what seemed to be just like this mud pit. So I'm standing there with the hose, and I'm not seeing anything that approximates like grass seed or anything like that. And I'm finally like, I think something else should be happening here. Like, what's going on? So we circled back, and someone put some more grass seed down and straw and all this kind of stuff, and we fixed the sprinkler system so it gets a little more water, and so it's half working. So there's some little new grass springing up. There's also a bunch of bald patches still, and of course then that's where weeds like to go, and so I go and pull the weeds, and sometimes I got to be careful because then I'm pulling up this highly prized new grass with it, which is more like next week's parable. I was like, okay, so maybe we got to try again. According to the internet, September is a better time to grow grass. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna try some like miracle grow. Like we have like this better plan to grow grass. 'Cause I'm not giving up on that spot. One, because it would look stupid, and two, it's just like I think more can be done with that spot. I want more to happen with that spot. And Jesus, by the way, the rabbits come and eat the new grass too, and all the seeds. It's like, bro, you got like a whole yard of lush grass. It's gonna be a salad. But Jesus in our parable says a sower went out to sow. Sower goes out to sow. That's what they do. They sow. Sower's got to sow. And so we see that he's just throwing the seed everywhere. It's not like farming today, not like I know a whole lot about farming. I've watched Clarkson's farm, learned a lot. But other than that, I don't know a whole lot. But from my understanding, it's very exact. It's like some machine plants a seed like X inches down and so many inches apart from the other, and you try to get strategic about the water and all this kind of stuff. Well, apparently in Jesus' time, they just threw seed everywhere and just kind of hoped for the best. That's also kind of like in our first reading from Isaiah, where it says that the Lord's word just comes down like rain, and we know rain just goes everywhere. And so just like the rain that goes everywhere, and here is going to have an effect, that the Lord sows his word just everywhere. Of course, Jesus is the word made flesh. So when we talk about Jesus sowing the word, he's really saying he wants to sow himself. He wants to plant himself and his own life. And of course, he's not going to be stingy about where he does that. Like the rain, like the sower, he's just going to throw his life everywhere to everyone. Because he is the one to satisfy, as we heard in our second reading from Romans, that longing, that desire for more in our life. He is the way and the truth and the life. He's our light and our salvation. And I think Jesus looks at every human heart and says, I can do more there in that spot. And I want to make more happen in that spot, and I'm just not going to give up on it. Of course, we have our part to play. The Lord respects our freedom. And so he just invites a response to this lavish gift of his life, just sort of poured out for us to receive and to really have active in our life. But we know, as we hear in our gospel passages, there's a lot of things that can just get in the way. Jesus doesn't usually just explain his parables, but this one he actually does. So there's a lot of things that can get in the way of receiving his word, his life into us. From lack of understanding, it's not knowing enough about the word, or even just about who God is, who we are in God, about the church. All those things can get in the way. So sometimes because of the word, there's some difficulty. In the parable, he describes it as tribulation and persecution, maybe just being ridiculed because of our faith, or just even fearful that that might even happen, or maybe it's just hard to live out our faith sometimes, and so there's all these challenges, right, that can keep God's life from just really soaking into us. And he also says worldly anxiety and the lure of riches, which is to say just all the things that we can worry about, and just our desire for comfort and ease that can get in the way of God's soaking into our life. The Lord's not going to give up on us. He keeps wanting to pour out his life so generously and graciously. I think that's important for us to remember on like both sides of it, like for our good and for the good of others. That God continues always to want to come and get into our life more and more. Because he has fruit that he desires to be born in us, and also fruit that he desires to be born through us. And it's important to remember, too, that God so graciously pours out his life upon those around us. Sometimes maybe we are thinking about, whether it's family members, co-workers, neighbors, classmates, that family or person we identified in our 23 challenge, and we're like, I don't know that God's really doing much, and to have that same heart that, I'm not going to give up on that. I think I can make more happen there. I think God wants to make more happen in that spot in that person's life. So that willingness to continue to just offer prayer when appropriate, just give a witness to our faith when appropriate, speak a word of life when appropriate, make an invitation when appropriate. So to keep watering those seeds that God just desires to plant his own life within each and every heart. Of course, we know in the Eucharist that Jesus literally comes planted within us. So as we encounter Christ here in the Mass today, let us ask for that grace to be more and more open to his life taking root within us, to be able to identify and overcome the things that get in the way of that, and the grace to go out and to share that life with others.